welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Early Wine, and November's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, so we're filming this right before November, so I still have my Halloween sweater on, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I hadn't got a chance to wear it. I ordered it early.
Yeah, you did.
I ordered it early for the yes, and then I didn't get it on time, so I'm like, I'm still.
Well, yeah, because this episode's gonna air November 1st.
I know, but I was gonna
that.
wear this sweater no matter what because I ordered it and it just got here late.
Well, we're gonna say it's October November episode.
That's right.
It's cute. Where'd you get it from?
Some online company that I thought was legit, and it was legit. Well, it did get here eventually, but it wasn't. They made it sound like it was an American company. It was not. It came from China, and it took approximately 25 years to get here.
Well, I'm telling you what. Do not just order. I'm like, oh, this is a cute thing, and you look at. I ordered stuff. I think I spent like $100. I've never gotten it, and it was months ago. It's not coming, and it hit my credit card. I think it was fraudulent. I'm weird about that stuff because you don't know about it.
Yeah, there's not very many. Anybody that advertises on Facebook, I pretty much won't order anything that's advertised there unless I look it up on Amazon and it's also sold on Amazon. Then I just order it from Amazon. So if you see some little cool thing that comes up on your Facebook feed and it's like, this would be a great Christmas toy for your grandkid or whatever, it's like, don't click on it. Just go to Amazon. If they carry it on Amazon, order it there. It's legit.
Okay.
But don't order it from whatever company that is.
There's a couple things that I want to order, and they're on Facebook. And it's like, well, because that one company was on Facebook, too, and I got taken.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, they're scams.
Yeah, why?
I know somebody else that got scammed, too.
Why is that? Why does Facebook allow that? I mean...
Let's not get into that.
But seriously, why are you letting scammers on your... Yeah, I mean,
they're probably getting a cut of the money.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
All comes back to money.
Zuckerberg needs extra. He's only a billionaire 1,000 times over.
Yeah,
so that's okay.
Yeah. So what's new with you?
Let me think. Gosh, what's new? Volleyball's over, so Jim will settle down a little bit.
Yep.
So that's over. We're in the process of tearing down one of the house on the corner we bought. So lots of things coming up at the theater, the children's play. We're hot and heavy in the children's play. We got another reception coming up. Got a band's back in process, maybe doing something for New Year's Eve for the kids. I don't know. Everything is going on.
Yeah.
But mainly
and the Florida Wolves football team are going to the playoffs.
That's right.
So by the time this airs, that game probably will be over, I think. No, might be. When are they playing? They're playing Friday.
Saturday.
They're playing Saturday. This is going to air on Friday. So, yeah, they're going tomorrow to playoffs way up north. It's north of Springfield in Quincy. I Googled it because Chris asked if we were going, and I was on the fence. And it's my very good friend Dorothy lives in Mount Pleasant, Iowa.
Oh, well, that'd be nice.
Well, it's only an hour from Dorothy.
Okay,
so I'm it's very close to Iowa. It's so far north, but anyway, that's why we got the orange and blue quilt out today.
Are you going?
So I don't know.
That's a long way to go.
It's a long way
for when you don't have a kid playing.
Right
now, I mean, when Connor was playing college ball, we got on airplanes. We flew to Minnesota.
Yeah.
We drove to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We went everywhere, but my kid was playing, so of course.
Yeah, I don't have a kid in the game.
If I didn't have a dog in the fight, I wouldn't go.
Chris's boyfriend plays though, so she does want to go, but
sit her with his family.
I know. I'm sure they would take her. I'm sure they would. They love her.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that's I wouldn't. I don't think I'd want to go. Yeah. It's a long way. I don't even know how long it's been since the boys have been in the playoffs.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't keep up with it every year. Some years I do, and some years I don't. It's been a fun season so far, though. The other night was a good game.
I mean, I've been out of the high school game for 11 years now, so I have no idea who's even. I cannot believe my son, my youngest, graduated 11 years ago.
Wow, he's old.
Connor's getting there. Yeah, both my boys were in their 30s. I mean, it's weird. It's weird when you have your kids in their 30s.
Yeah, I bet.
I still control him, though.
That's good.
I don't control Mac. Mac's got a wife. Paige can take care of him. But Connor, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But,
plenty.
Connor's got a serious girlfriend. They're going to get married. And
well, good.
It'll be one of those things that here's what's going to happen with Connor. It'll be like, hey, Mom, guess what? We got married at the courthouse. It's going to be that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. If he called me today and said, hey, we got married, I'd be okay with it. That's good, kid.
Yeah.
Good.
As long as he's happy, you're happy.
I don't care. Yeah, and she doesn't want all that big wedding stuff. And, of course, Paige's was easy because they went to Disney and got married, so that was nice. And
yeah, that would be nice. I think they handle all the planning and stuff for you down there.
I think so. Like, those destination weddings are where it's at.
I know. If I could do it all over again, I would totally do a destination wedding.
Yourself? Or Malia's?
No, for myself. Malia loved her. I loved my wedding too, but just in hindsight, now that I'm older, it would have been fun to go somewhere.
Yeah, I would not do. Of course, I got married in '88, so that's But what's so funny is, like, you look back at the pictures, like my friends that got married in '88, and a lot of people get married at the Christian church because Jim and I got married at the Christian church, but at that time Jim was an atheist, so he didn't care where we were at anyway, and I didn't go to church full time when we first got married, and but anyway, it's so funny. I look back at all those, and we all have the exact same background, the same old brass candelabras.
Yep.
It's funny. Our weddings literally, like kids do, they do all sorts of weird stuff now. Nothing's, they just do whatever goes.
I got married there in '99, and my pictures look the same as everybody that got there in the '80s and the '70s.
You came 11 years after me, and isn't that funny though?
My parents were married there, and like their pictures are all similar.
It cracks because we just didn't. But now it's like everybody does all this super cool stuff, and and different things, and it's like, I guess, because like if our weddings didn't go as planned, that didn't go right, because this is when you like the unity candle, but now it's like kids are, what I used to do, I don't do wedding hair anymore or dance hair anymore, but whenever I do that, they'd be like, it's like, what do you have? You have something planned totally different. If it don't go off, nobody's going to know. Don't worry about it. But back in our day, this happened.
Yeah, there was a certain order to the ceremony.
Certain order to the ceremony. We were all pretty much the same. And yeah, it's funny. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of interesting.
Yes, for sure.
So what else?
I don't know.
Gosh, I don't know. I just feel like right now everything's crazy. The children's places, these kids in this play.
Yeah, so mark your calendars for December, what is it, the 7th and 8th, at Nostalgia Theater, downtown Flora. The Saturday night show will be at 7, and the Sunday afternoon matinee will be at 3. And
they're funny.
It's a great kids play. These kids are so into it, and it's kids ages 5 to 18, and they are just.
And we have a younger crowd this year because we lost like 8 or 9 of our ones when we started doing all this.
Yep.
So we lost those. So it's a young cast, and they're.
But we have a few high schoolers,
we have a few high schoolers. Yeah,
and
we have a couple. Molly's not a senior yet. Is Xavier the only senior?
Probably.
A new boy, and he's, what a good kid. I really like this boy. Very, very good. He's there to support his little brother, and very, very good kid. I'm very impressed with him.
Yep. They're all good kids.
They're all good kids, but this was
like
the first
all the kids.
But for a senior boy to walk in the building and just be okay with the kids, like good boy. I really like.
So it's going to be a cute play. It's all about toys at Santa's workshop, and they all play a different type of toy. I'm not going to give everything away, but it's super cute.
And they're funny.
Yes.
They're having a good time.
They are.
They're having a good time. And I'm having a good time with them, too, because you just never know. I do believe, though, this is the first group that I've been, when we're doing our read-throughs, that we've been interrupted as much.
They all
have ideas.
They all want to throw out their ideas, and they want to direct. They're not. We're doing that part. Like, hush up. Just say your lines.
Oh yeah. Last night was like, okay, we're gonna do the read through. Don't ask me one question. Don't interject one time. Let's just read through it so I can kind of get it.
There was at least one person that was like, but, and she'd be like, no, but nope.
Not yet, baby, not yet. Okay, so I picked out of that, we got that Look magazine, right? I love that one. I got 2 of them, and I'm obsessed with I got the JFK. After he was assassinated, so it's 63. I love it.
Okay, so you got an ad from that?
Well, it's a movie ad. Look at this picture.
Ooh, the outrage.
It's called The Outrage. And this is in 1963. It says, "You be the judge. Was it an act of violence or an act of love?"
Ooh.
This stars Paul Newman.
Hello, Paul Newman.
Lawrence Harvey, Claire Bloom, Edward G. Robinson. I mean, I'm like, I don't know the way she's there, and I don't think that looks like an act of love to me. See, because then, at the bottom here, it's like Juan Carrasco. He saw her and had to have her now.
Oh my! What kind of movie is this?
I don't know. The young wife, for what he made her do, she loathed him and loved him. And the husband, he was there, tied but not blindfolded. I don't know what this
the Stacey.
Well, William Shatner's in it too.
Okay.
My eyes are too. William Shatner, Howard DeSalvia, Albert Salmi, I don't know. And this is a watch for it at your favorite motion picture theater.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to look that one up and see if I can stream it.
The Outrage with Paul Newman? Oh, I think I'm going to, too. I love Paul Newman.
Me, too.
But this would have been, like I said, probably 1963, 64.
Okay, I wrote it down so I can remember.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know. I wonder, I bet you can. I bet we can Google that and see where to watch The Outrage.
Probably.
And I'm surprised that, it hasn't been remade. I don't know. Paul Newman.
Maybe it's in the works for all we know.
It could be in the works. Yeah. So what else? What do you got going on today? Anything good?
Well, no, not really. Just work stuff and not really. Not much. We're getting ready to work on the program book for the children's play and the depot, or not the depot, but the adult play that'll be in the spring at Nostalgia Theater. And so if you're a business owner and you would like to run an ad in our program book that so many people read, reach out to us at, by the way, Beth and Stacey at gmail.com. We'd be happy to hook you up with a ad.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to work on that
this theater,
work on that this afternoon. And
here we go. The Outrage 1964 Western thriller.
A Western thriller.
A Western thriller. You can watch it on Plex, YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, or Amazon Prime for $2.99.
Okay.
I know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon.
I know, right?
Heck yeah.
Okay, I'm going to watch it too.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break, and Beth is going to take the lead on this episode, and we're going to talk about what? JCPenney?
JCPenney. We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
And welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We're laughing because we're talking about songs that were stuck in our head, and I told her the one that was stuck in my head from the car radio this morning, and she's like, thank you. Now it's also
now it's
stuck in my head. So this is another adventures.
Yes.
My Beth's adventure story, because I was on a work trip, and I went to a little town that my company's based in Missouri called Hamilton, Missouri. It's about 40 minutes from Kansas City, and it is the home of JCPenney. And they're
Hamilton, what'd you say?
Hamilton, Missouri.
Hamilton, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
JCPenney, is that his name?
His name is
Penny?
James Cash Penney, which I think is really cool. First of all, Penny is a type of cash, although it's spelled EY, but Penny. So his mom and dad already were like his Penny, and then they gave him the middle name Cash, which was it's more common now to be named Cash than it was then. And this guy grew up to make a whole lot of cash.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't know anything about JC.
I don't know, like, if you should always name all of your kids Cash, that way they grow up to be rich. I don't know if there's a system here. I don't know. I'm going to
tell Connor whenever he has children, name it Moneybags.
Yeah. No kidding.
Right?
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah, so James Cash Penney. And so in this town of Hamilton, which is it's a very small town. It's like 1,700 people. Okay, it's a tiny town, but almost the whole town is quilt shops. So if you're a quilter, it's the home of Missouri Star Quilt Company. But that right in the middle of town is a little tiny house, a little tiny white cracker box house, and that is his boyhood home. And it used to be out in the country, but they moved it into the middle of town because it kind of brought in tourism.
Heck yeah.
And there's a museum there and all this information that I never knew that I wanted to know, but I did.
Right.
It was really interesting.
Oh, I bet it's really interesting.
I have a bunch of pictures. It's like super fascinating, this guy.
Oh, I love shows where we have lots of pictures.
I know. Okay, so James Cash Penney, he was born in 1875. And he died in 1971. So really not really all that long. I mean, you were alive at the same time as J.C. Penney.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but you were.
Yeah, you had to throw that in, didn't you?
Oh, shoot. Okay, so no. He was born on a farm outside of town. He was the 7th of 12 children, but only 6 of them lived to adulthood. His dad's name was James Cash Penney. So the whole thing about naming your kid Cash, it didn't work for his dad because they were poor.
But how weird. And then his dad, because his dad would have been even, earlier 1800s. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's crazy.
It must have been a family name that they kept, Cash. I don't know. And then his mother's name was Mary Frances. And his father was a Baptist preacher and a farmer. And his dad was like super duper duper strict. And once any of his kids turned 8 years old, they had to start paying for everything on their own, including their clothing.
8?
At the age of 8, he had to pay for everything himself. Clothing, I think he had to help pay for food. He had to, any kind of soap or anything that he had to use on he had to pay for at the age of 8. And I know some people do some of that as the kids get older, like make them be, but this is a little much here, Mr. Penney.
Yeah.
So, anyway, his dad died when he was in high school. Right after he got out of high school, I guess his dad died. And Penney was going to go to college and he was going to become a lawyer. But then his dad died and they needed help on the farm. And so he stuck around and he became a store clerk at another store to help support the family. But he had tuberculosis. J.C. Penney had tuberculosis, which, not everybody dies from tuberculosis. Some people lived with it for all their life. So he lived with it, but he was told he needed to move west for the better air, probably less humidity, to treat his tuberculosis. So he moved, I think when he was 23, to Longmont, Colorado. Okay? So that was around 1898 that he went out there. And we'll get to how he ended up starting a store. But let's take a look at this picture here of this is him when he's older.
Oh, wow.
Just everyone said he was a very nice man, a very kind man, a very humble man. But I think he was also a tight man. I think he was a bit of a penny pincher. Play on words there. But that's not really written in any of my articles I've read about him, but there is a video that plays in the museum, and if you stand there and listen to the whole video, there's mention of that, and I really think that his frugalness comes back to his father, who was so
I can only
over
imagine.
the top with it, over the top frugal.
Do you have a picture of him when he was young?
Yeah, I think so. Ty, what do we got there? I know I sent in a bunch. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we'll take a look at that one. That's him there with 4 of his kids.
His kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because he would have lived to be, 96 then? 71? Yeah, 72.
Okay, so he was married 3 times.
Oh, okay.
First marriage, her name was Bertha, but she, they had 2 sons, and then she died from pneumonia. So his first son's name was Roswell,
Roswell Penney.
And then the second one was James Cash Penney III. And then he got married again to Mary Kimball in 1919. And then she had a son, and then she died.
Wow.
So that son was named Kimball.
That daughter that's directly behind his head right there, second, she's very pretty.
Yeah.
The other one's pretty too, but that one's, you
very
can tell.
pretty.
She's a very pretty girl.
Okay, and then in 1926, he got married for the third time to a lady named Caroline Marie Autenreith. And she fell off of a horse in 1928 and was badly injured, but she didn't die. She lived, but I think she was maybe a little disabled after that. And they had 2 daughters. So that's Mary Frances Penney. She became a professor of chemistry and graduated from MIT. And then the other is Carol Penney, and she earned a degree in international relations from Stanford.
Holy Moses.
Yeah.
Very,
so they were all
successful.
very successful kids, and I don't know exactly the boys. It doesn't really say what they went on to do. They probably helped run the company.
I would imagine.
Yeah, but okay, so
now we can go off that picture.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ty.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about his house in Hamilton. So this house, I'd been in it before. One other work trip, I had went there, and I just walked through it, and I found it slightly creepy because there's no one in it. No one works there. Okay, it's just
this is the original house.
The original house, the boyhood home. Okay, no one works in it. It's just left open, and no one really walks off with anything. There's a sign about cameras are in use or whatever. There's a video that plays continuously in the living room about his life, and then there's like reading material sitting around that you can read about his life. But basically, it's a very quick walkthrough. Is like, this is his boyhood home. But the first time I was there was a lamp in one of the rooms that kept going on and off the whole time I was there. And so you might think, well, you were walking and the bulb was loose and it was shut. But no, I stood still and no one else was in there. It was just me. And I was standing still watching this lamp. And anyway, it was a little creepy. I'm not going to lie. So when I went in there this time, I again was alone. No one was with me and nobody else was in there at the time. And the lamp was turned off and it didn't do anything. So that was good. But okay. So let's show that picture, Ty. This is a picture of the outside house, okay? Mm-hmm. It looks a little overgrown in this picture, but this is just one that I stole off of the internet. The one that I have on my actual camera, they have got all those weeds cut down, and it's beautifully landscaped, and this is a old picture, okay?
But this house was in the country.
It was in the country, and they moved it right into town.
And raised how many children in this house?
Well...
12 kids.
12 kids, but 6 lived. And how they did this is really, truly beyond me. If they just had some of them sleep in the barn or what. This house is 28 feet across and 28 feet deep. So according to math, that is a 784 square foot house. Okay.
Wow.
And they moved it into town in 1988. But when you walk into that front door,
and that's the front.
That's the front. No porch or nothing. When you walk into the front door, you immediately are in a very small living room. Mm-hmm. If you turn left, you're in a bedroom. Mm-hmm. If you go straight through the living room, you're in a kitchen. And then if you go left out of the kitchen, you're in another bedroom. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's 4 rooms. There's only 4 rooms. There's no closets. There's an area by what is like the back door area, which they have it closed off. It's not a door anymore, but there's a little bit of a narrow space in between the walls right there where they kept brooms. I'm assuming because that's what was there. But I took pictures of the inside. So let's look at some of the interior pictures of his house because they have it set up really cute.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the living room, and it's very original to the time period, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And, there's cute furniture in there. They have a dress that was his wife's over there in the corner. The book in the middle talks a little bit about him. Back there behind that lamp, the hanging beautiful lamp in the center, you can see that there is a video screen back there, and that's the video, and the audio to that is very loud, so you can hear it as you walk through. because of the reflection on the windows, it was hard for me to get a good picture of his portrait over there. But that is the picture we already saw today. But so that's the front room. Very small. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is in the front room. This was cut out of the picture that I took, but that little stove set in the corner. So that would have been their heat. And I wouldn't have thought it would take too much coal or wood or whatever they were burning to heat that little bitty space. Okay, what one's next, Ty? Okay, so this is the bedroom that is straight past the living room. And you can see that it says security cameras are in use. Right. The crazy quilt thrown over the rocking chair. Mm-hmm. Just walking through this and like no one being in there. It is very cool.
Is the furniture original to the home too?
I don't think so. I think that they had a group of people that were into like in the 80s when they brought this into town that were really into like setting it up. And so they had everything donated. I don't know what pieces are original, but they set it up for that time period.
My OCD's kicking in. That picture's crooked.
Yeah, well,
I love that wardrobe on the side. Yeah.
The thing about this house that these pictures don't tell is that it feels very like unsteady. I'm trying to think of a right word to describe it, but like when you walk through, like it feels like the walls are like paper thin. Mm-hmm. Like if there was there's no insulation. Like if you were to stand outside, Stacey, and talk, and I was just sitting there in that rocking chair, I feel like I would be able to hear every word you said.
Actually have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, it's very cheaply made. Yeah. And like those are real wood floors, but it just feels like there's nothing under them.
Yeah,
like
the floors are beautiful. Yeah. And they probably weren't if his dad was tight wad too. He probably did. Yeah. The fact that this house was probably, the fact that they could move it makes you wonder what they had to do in the process after they got it set.
Yeah, right.
We need to take a commercial break, and then we'll come back with more pictures of J.C. Penney's house.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, you just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree. Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be. Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We're talking about J.C. Penney because we've all heard of J.C. Penney, and I just happened to end up in his boyhood home. So why not talk about him, right? It was pretty interesting.
I like it.
So we actually have a picture of J.C. Penney as he looked when he was a young man. So let's show that since we're talking about his boyhood home.
Oh.
Yeah, how cute is he?
He is cute. He's got sad eyes.
Yeah, probably because his dad was a jerk, I think. I don't know.
Well, if I had to start working for my own toothpaste and soap at 8.
And this might have been around the time his dad died, too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He has sad eyes, though. His hair's cool.
Yeah, his hair is cool. I like him.
I like J.C. Penney.
I do too. Okay, so we're talking about his house, and I sent in a bunch of pictures of his house. So let's take another look at a different room. Okay.
Oh, that lamp.
Uh-huh. So this is the other view of that bedroom.
That other bedroom is.
No, it's the same bedroom we've already looked.
Yeah.
It's just the corner. They had a little sewing machine set up there, and that lamp is the one that kept turning on and off when I was there the first time.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So just a neat little bedroom. Let's look at another corner of that bedroom. I believe, yes, the absolute creepiest doll I've ever seen in my life, in my entire life, is in that store or in that house. I mean, it was just...
You're speechless.
I'm speechless because that doll really gave off super creepy vibes. But it was nice that they had a little crib set up in the corner because they could kind of tell, like, okay, gosh, they had 12 kids in here.
Oh,
so where did they put them all? I still don't know. They had to have all been sleeping all over the floor.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so...
Isn't that neat, though? I love that.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
cool.
so let's go. The next room was the kitchen, and you just walk through. Yep, and there is another side door there. And then you have, she's the mom, probably, ironing in the corner. Mm-hmm. And she's got some dishes over there. She's got a little countertop there on the right side of the screen where she's got some stuff. And then I'm telling you, this is a super tiny room.
Yeah.
So
the picture makes it look bigger than it is,
yes,
probably.
Absolutely. Okay, so Ty, there's the next picture. Yes.
Oh, wow.
This is the same room, and there's a little table in the corner. Her ironing board is just to the right of that table. Yeah. She's just barely cut out of there.
Look at that. Like I said, where do they eat? I mean, look at that little bitty old table.
I know. I guess
they probably just sat on the floor.
Maybe. I mean, and I'm not saying that when they lived there it was set up exactly like this, but I don't know how it could have been set up much differently to allow for that many people, 14 people, which, maybe at some point the older kids were gone, and some of them did die at a young age, but there were still a lot of people that were living here. Okay, and then another picture of the same room shows the stove. Yep.
Oh, neat.
Yep, and you can see that bedroom right back there. It's still...
That's a different bedroom, isn't it? It looks like a different quilt.
Oh, okay, that might be the other bedroom, but they all just run together, and there's, nothing in between. The walls are just thin as paper. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's their little stove, and then there's one more room that we haven't seen yet, the other bedroom, and it is this one. Yep, so... that one had a little bit bigger bed in it and had some things laid out on it. And is that the last picture of the house? One more? Okay. Yeah, same room, different angle. But yeah, it's full of beautiful things.
Oh, I love the furniture. Just to die for. What is that? Is that an accordion?
I think so.
I feel like that's an accordion.
Yeah, I didn't really even pay attention to that when I was there.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah.
The furniture of this place are magnificent.
Yeah, it was a beautiful home. So
I love that. That is cool.
Okay, so in JCPenney's life, he started getting sick with the tuberculosis, went to Colorado, and he started working for a small chain of stores out there called the Golden Rule Stores. Never heard of them, but they were owned by two guys, Guy Johnson and Thomas Callahan. Okay, they were impressed by JCPenney's work ethic and salesmanship, and they offered him a 1/3 partnership in a new store that he could open. Okay, pretty good deal for a young man. He invested $2,000 and moved to Kimmerer, Wyoming to open a store there. He participated in opening 2 more Golden Rule stores, but then Callahan and Johnson dissolved their partnership. In 1907, they were done. They wanted out. And so JCPenney was able to purchase full ownership of those stores. And then the names of the stores were changed to JCPenney.
And they just changed it.
Yep. So the very first JCPenney, the mother store, is considered in Kimmerer, Wyoming. Okay. And by 1912, there were 34 stores in the Rocky Mountain states.
Wow.
In 1913, he moved the company to the Kearns Building in downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. That was kind of his headquarters, and became incorporated as JCPenney Corporation or JCPenney Company. Okay. In 1916, he began to expand east of the Mississippi. And then during the 1920s, he expanded nationwide with 120. In 1920, he had 120 stores.
I wonder if his dad was still alive at this point.
I don't know.
Be interesting.
I'd have to see.
I mean, I want, yeah.
I don't have the dates on his dad.
Yeah, interesting.
By 1924, Penney reported income of more than $1 million annually. The number of stores reached 1,400. 1924, he was making over $1 million. I don't know what that would be today.
Oh, I don't know.
He'd be up there with Zuckerberg.
He'd be way up there. Yeah.
The number of stores reached 1,400 by 1929, but we all know what happened in 1929.
Not good.
Mm-hmm.
But they survived the Depression.
So his income allowed him to be heavily involved in many philanthropic causes during the 1920s. He had a home in Miami Beach, Florida. He had a business partner in Florida that helped him invest in real estate. He bought 120,000 acres in Hamilton, Missouri. And that was called the Penney Farms. It was also the start of his dairy. He started something called Foremost Dairy Products. This was all in his hometown. He had a friend that he recruited from Hamilton that he had run the dairy. But a lot of that stopped when the Depression hit and the market crashed in 1929. And it actually left Penney in financial ruin. He lost so much.
He lost a lot.
He was considered financial ruin. Ooh. After the crash, he lost virtually all of his personal wealth and borrowed against his life insurance to help the company meet its payroll. So he still had employees working and he had to pay them. So he borrowed against his own life insurance to pay their payroll. That's pretty cool.
That is good because today, everybody just go bankrupt.
Yeah. So the financial setbacks took a toll on his health. And because, he still has tuberculosis. It's not something that you get rid of. So he checked himself into the Battle Creek Sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan for treatment. And then he heard the hymn, God Will Take Care of You. Do you know that one?
God will take care of you through every day or all the way. He will take care of you. God will take care of you.
Okay.
I sing that one all the time to myself when I'm feeling like...
Feeling a little low?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he heard that sung at a service in the hospital's chapel, and he became a born-again Christian.
Ooh.
So he relinquished the daily operating management of his company. He continued to be involved in the management and its stores. And in 1940, during a visit to a store in Des Moines, Iowa, he trained a young man named Sam Walton.
No, boy.
On how he trained a young man named Sam Walton on how to wrap packages with a minimal amount of paper and ribbon. Because, he had this very frugal upbringing.
He had a frugal,
So you're going to wrap the packages, but you're going to use as little product as possible. He remained chairman of the board until 1946, and after that, as honorary chairman until his death in 1971. He never found a way to truly retire. He regularly visited his offices until his death, and he directed his stores to be closed on Sundays so employees could attend church.
Oh,
now,
so
that
he was
did
one
not
of those
stick around.
I was going to say, that didn't happen, did it?
Mm-hmm. He's buried in Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx in New York City.
What?
He was 95 when he died, and he died in New York City. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but okay. So, question: was there a Penney store in Hamilton? It's only a town of 1,700 people. I mean, this is the size of Louisville or Clay City.
Yeah.
Did they have a J.C. Penney store? And the answer is yes. He put in his 500th store in his hometown.
Really?
He went back and put in his 500th store, and it's still there. It's a quilt shop now. It's a beautiful building. It's all been preserved. It's gorgeous inside and out. And, you could go visit it. But that was the 500th Penney store in his hometown. But even though he didn't live in Hamilton anymore, he loved to go back home. Mm-hmm. So he would go back home and work with the cows on the dairy farm. He owned all this acreage. He was into helping. And a lot of times he would go home and just be one of the guys and work, and no one would know him.
Oh, really?
A lot of people wouldn't know him. So here's a funny story. Do we have time?
Oh, we got time.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell your story, then we'll take a break and come back with the last segment.
Okay. So he was home, and on the farm that it was hay time. It was time to cut the hay. So he had on overalls, and he'd been out in the field all day just cutting hay. And when it was lunchtime, all the men that worked together would get together and go into town to eat. Well, there was a tea house in town, and it was called McDonald's Tea Room. So it wasn't a McDonald's.
Our McDonald's.
It wasn't one. It was just called McDonald's Tea Room, and it was ran by this lady who thought that she had a very nice establishment, and you had to dress appropriately to come to her tea room for lunch. Okay, so Mrs. McDonald and all these men came in with their overalls, and she marched up to him, and she was like, "I do not serve anybody in overalls."
Oh my!
And and J.C. Penney's apology. He was very polite, and he said, "I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry to be in your way. We'll get right out of here. I didn't realize. I'm so very sorry. You have a great day." And they all left. Meanwhile, somebody else in that restaurant walked up to her and said, "Do you know who that did? Do you know who that was?" And she's like, "No, I have no idea, but I don't serve men. I don't serve men in overalls that have been farming all day. This is too nice of a restaurant." And they're like, "That was J.C. Penney." And she's like, "Oh my gosh." So she
Excuse me, Mr. Penny.
Yeah.
Mr. Penny, come back.
Yeah, so she leaves, starts running down the sidewalk like, wait a minute.
Oh.
And too late. They were gone. They got in the truck and drove away. I don't know where they went to lunch because there really wasn't.
I'll tell you what. Well, yeah, I don't feel bad for her. That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for her either. So
that's terrible.
Yeah. The other people that have worked for him said that he loved to show up in Hamilton and just get lost in the crowd. He would just dress like a regular person. He did this in a lot of his JCPenney stores. You would never know who he was. And he would just get lost in the crowd and go around the store or whatever and talk to people and not act like he knew anything about it, just to get feedback, to hear what people were saying about his store. Yeah.
We could have come across him one time. I bet he was in Effingham.
You could have.
I could. Yeah, I could have. Beth could have. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back and finish up the JCPenney story.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Jimmy order lumber, doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, Jimmy ordered guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today is all about JCPenney, which has been kind of interesting.
I'm very fascinated by the story.
So I mentioned,
I love it.
Yeah, I like this guy. So I mentioned that he died in New York City. He actually lived in New York City on Park Avenue. So he was making good money, right?
Yeah, he's back on top.
He's back on top. He recovered after the crash in 29, and he made all of his money back. He had all of these stores, thousands of stores all over the United States, a national chain, and he no longer lived in a 780, whatever I said it was, 784 square foot home like he was raised in. He's living Park Avenue, New York City.
New York.
His address was 888 Park Avenue. Why don't you Google that, Ty, on Google Maps, and let's see what's sitting there now. 888 Park Avenue, New York City. We'll see what it looks like. I bet it's a beautiful building is what I bet. But he spent his winters in Palm Springs, California.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him there. New York City winters could be kind of
a little rough.
A little rough. So he went to Palm Springs. But oh, that's it, huh?
Yeah, they're always. Have you ever been in New York?
No.
It's constantly
under construction.
Yes, all those. Yeah, you're walking underneath all that stuff all the time.
Look up. Let's see how tall it is. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
So that was his building.
Did he own the whole building?
Well, no.
He probably just lived in a big. He probably lived in the penthouse.
Probably lived in the penthouse.
Is it for sale?
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Park Avenue.
Something? Oh,
yeah,
man.
Very cool. Okay, so that's where he lived when he died. In 1970, the day after Christmas, 1970, he fell and broke his hip.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, and then a few weeks after that, he had a heart attack.
Yipes.
Yep, and so he never fully recovered from either one, and he died on February the 12th, 1971 in New York City. A man by the name of Reverend Dr. Norman Vincent Peale delivered the eulogy at the funeral, and he was buried in Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx.
Interesting.
This part is interesting. Not very far at all away from the grave of fellow retail entrepreneur F.W. Woolworth.
Really?
So Woolworth and Penney are both buried very close to each other in the same cemetery. So if you're going to New York City and you're interested in cemeteries,
where are the Macy's at? Wonder where Macy's
I don't know. I bet they're not far away either.
They're not far away either.
His estate, J.C. Penney's estate, when he died, was valued at $35 million.
In the
70s. I don't know what that would be today.
A lot. Yeah, a lot.
So this part I thought was interesting. He was a Freemason most of his adult life. He was initiated into the Wasatch Lodge No. 1 Free and Accepted Masons of Utah in 1911. A member of both the Scottish and York Rites, Penney was coroneted a 33rd degree on October 16th, 1945, and received the Gold Distinguished Service Award by the General Grand Chapter Royal Arch Masons in Kansas City, Missouri in 1958. He typically wore a large ring showing his Masonic degree.
He was a 33rd Mason?
Yeah. Let's see. He was a member of two professional college fraternities, Alpha Gamma Rho for agriculture and Alpha Kappa Psi for business. He was involved. This is really cool. He was involved with the founding of the University of Miami.
Really?
Yeah, he helped found the university. I can't talk today.
He founded it.
He founded it. And he served on its board of trustees from 1926 to 1930. Yeah, so at the end of the Great Depression in 1939, Penney teamed up with Thomas Watson, president and founder of IBM, and Arthur Godfrey, the radio and TV personality, and then Norman Vincent Peale, the minister, who's an inspirational speaker and wrote a book on the power of positive thinking. I've heard of that book, The Power of Positive Thinking, to help Henry Simler form the first board of 40 Plus. 40 Plus is an organization that helps unemployed managers and executives. So they did some kind of, I don't know.
Wow.
Organization to help unemployed people, I guess. He got a lot of awards over the years. In 1954, he founded the James C. Penney Foundation, and it's not affiliated with the J.C. Penney Company or its corporate giving, but they help different organizations all over the country and work to advance racial and environmental justice. So, yeah, he did a lot of good things. He did a lot of good things with his money. And everybody that knew him liked him. So that says a lot. And if you want to learn more about him, I suggest that you go to Hamilton, Missouri to see the house, to see the museum. There's lots of pictures of his family. I just didn't.
What is that book you pick up?
This book here is is just like a visitor's guide to Hamilton, Missouri.
So, like, when you get there, is it like home of J.C. Penney? Is it like penny everywhere?
Not really. It's more quilt everywhere because the town right now is known as the Disneyland for quilters.
Wonder how that came about.
The quilting? Oh, I can tell you that because that's the company I work for. So, Missouri Star Quilt Company. It was founded by the Doan family and a friend. Now there is a lady named Jenny Doan who this was at the beginning of YouTube because this is their 16th year. So she was 16 years ago started making tutorials on YouTube just for extra money to show people. Well, not even really for extra money, just because she was kind of quilting and she started doing tutorials on how to do a quilt. Mm-hmm. Well, at that time, there wasn't a lot of other quilters on there, and she got a big following quickly. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, oh, man, she's awesome. I can learn to quilt by watching her on YouTube. And so people started following her, and she got more and more followers, and people would say, I want to come to your quilt shop. And she, at the time, really was just kind of working out of a really small room, didn't really have a lot of fabric for sale or anything, but she decided all these people wanted to come, she should open a shop. So she opened a shop. Well, all these people that followed her on YouTube started coming to her shop. And so she redid a building in downtown Hamilton because at the time, Hamilton was a lot like what I consider Clay City. Nothing there, not anything there, no businesses. The downtown is just falling apart. Every building needs work. And it was just kind of a mess, and it was a very poor county. They didn't have much for employment. I think they had the highest unemployment rate in the whole state of Missouri.
Wow.
And so she, anyway, kept growing. And so then she bought another store next to it. And then it just little by little, now there's 18 quilt shops in that one town. Okay. And each quilt shop has a different theme. So, like, if you're not a quilter, this is probably blowing your mind. But, like, one quilt shop might be all floral fabric, okay? Another quilt shop is all reproduction fabric, like from Civil War reproductions or 1930s reproductions. Another store is the Penny store, and it's got a lot of solids and things like that in it. Another store is Machine Shed, where they sell sewing machines. And another store is called Man's Land, and that store is full of leather recliners, big screen TVs, pool tables, vending machines, phone chargers.
How neat.
And that is where the men sit while their wives spend the rest of the day in town.
That's pretty clever.
There's a retreat center. You could look it up, but there's tons of stuff going on in this town for quilters. So that way it's a destination. People drive through there daily. There's buses that arrive daily carrying 50 people. You know, there's just constantly people there, a lot of motorhomes coming through. But that's the destination. So people go there for the quilt shops. The Penny's house just happens to be sitting next door to all of it.
Right.
But the Doan family did an amazing thing for that whole community because now they don't have the high unemployment rates. They have employed, they have a factory in Hamilton. They have a warehouse in Hamilton. And then they have these 18 shops. They are the #1 employer in the county.
Good.
So they not just did things for their own family, like, you know, they've made money off of it, but they've done really good things
for the community.
And economic wise. So I love the company that I work for, and I work from home most of the time, but occasionally I do go out there. So,
that's an awesome, an awesome little trip. And how far is Hamilton?
It's about 5.5 hour drive if you wanted to go. Okay. And there's no hotels in town, so you have to stay in another near. It's kind of like if you went to Clay City, there wouldn't be a hotel there for you to stay at, right? So you'd have to drive to Effingham or somewhere to stay in a hotel. But yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
So anyway, it's a fun little trip if you're wanting a little road trip, or if you're a quilter or you know a quilter, you should take her there or him.
You know, I wonder if J.C. Penney, when he raised his own children, if he made them work like he, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
It makes you wonder how he raised. I mean, it's just, of course, you know, when you're farmers, it's not to have kids work on the farm, especially back in the day, but to make them pay for all their stuff.
I know.
That's just kind of crazy.
Right. And if they're teenagers, fine, let them pay for some of their stuff. Yeah. But 8 years old?
8's young.
This is a little boy.
Little.
Yeah, that's a little boy.
And the girls would have been no different. It makes you wonder, like, how he raised his children. If they would have been raised the same. The same, very strict.
I kind of think he was pretty frugal himself, so some of that might have carried over, but hopefully he wasn't as strict.
I had a friend, and I always thought it was weird that, like, whenever she lived at home, but, like, she, at 15, 16, she had to start buying her own. I mean, she even had to pay for the grocery bill. And both her mom and dad both worked. I never did understand that. But, yeah, she had brothers. She had siblings. And but it was just really weird because she, wanted a job. She had a part-time job or whatever, going to school. And then once she started working, they were like, oh, yeah, by the way, since you're working, you got to pay off the grocery bill. You got to buy all your shampoo and your conditioner and your soap and your... that's just not in me.
That's not in me either. I have friends that do that with their kids, and every family is different. So whatever they, choose
to do,
choose to do. But I'm like, you got the rest of your life to have to deal with that. So.
Yeah, you got the rest of your life to work. Yeah, my boys never did. When they were, if you want a job, get one. But they didn't. Connor, my boys didn't work when they were. Well, I guess Matt got a job at Dick's Sporting Goods when he was going to school in Springfield, but he wanted to. So it's like, whatever you want to do, babe. But I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. I just never, it's weird. To me it is, but my parents were the same way. We didn't have money growing up. My parents would have never asked us to do that. They didn't even, I worked at Tasty Freeze. That building's gone there. It was across from Kiwanis Park, where that little Toots at now. I only worked there because I wanted to. They didn't. And my sisters, we didn't work in school. I guess, like I said, teach his own.
That's right. So
whatever you want to do.
Okay, so we always end our show with a deep thought by Jack Handy. I can't wait to hear what he has to say today.
This one's a good one. Love is not something that you can put chains on and throw into a lake. That's called Houdini. Love is liking someone a lot.
Okay.
Don't put chains on your love.
Throw them in a lake. Okay, note to self, I will not do that.
Okay,
Jack
Beth, tell everybody where they can see us at.
Oh, golly. Okay, so we're on Catch TV, Channel 100, daily at 11 a.m. and then again at 3 p.m. You can also find all of our past episodes on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel called By the Way with Beth and Stacey. So if you just go to YouTube, just type in Beth and Stacey, it'll come up and you click on our channel and all of our episodes are there. So if you've missed any, you can watch them there. You can also find us on Facebook. By the Way with Beth and Stacey is our Facebook page. And you can always reach out to us on email at bytheway with Beth and Stacey@gmail.com.
That's it for today.
So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.